Later on today, the French National Assembly will be voting on a bill to suspend the president's pension reform plan. The legislation, which was a key policy of Emmanuel Macron's, would have raised the retirement age to 64. If the measure, which was a key demand by the Socialist Party, passes, it will effectively delay that reform until after the next presidential election. The far-right National Rally of Marine Le Pen say they will be voting in favour of suspending the reform. For more on this story, we can go across to our correspondent, Antonia Kerrigan, standing by at the National Assembly. Antonia, firstly, good afternoon. Can you remind our viewers what exactly this reform was and what's on the agenda today?
Well, so as you explained, this was a 2023 bill that increased the retirement age in France from 62 to 64. And it was met with major popular opposition, historic protests, a series of general strikes. Anyone who was living in France at the time remembers it very well as a period of major disruption. And of course, by 2023, Emmanuel Macron no longer had a majority in the parliament. So in the end, the bill was forced through without a majority. Through a mechanism that's constitutionally legal but extremely incendiary for such a divisive bill. This has dogged Emmanuel Macron and his successive governments ever since, and today Parliament are debating an amendment to the social security budget that would curtail that reform, suspending it such that workers currently of 57 or over would retire at around 63, which is where the staggered implementation has put the retirement age at this point in time. But it's by no means a rollback of the reform, which is what the left have been pushing for ever since 2023. In short, anyone under 57 today would still have to wait until 64. What it is a gesture from the centre-right made through absolute gritted teeth as they campaigned defending this bill. Some of them, some of their colleagues lost seats over this bill. It was really Macron's hill to die on for a very long time. But it's a gesture from that centre-right group in order to pacify the left-wing opposition.
So if essentially the socialists get what they want, does that mean the government of Sébastien Lecornu is on firm ground going forward?
Well, it's a little bit ambiguous because certainly, as you say, Sébastien Lecornu's government has survived this long. I don't want to over-exaggerate that. They've survived nearly a month, thanks to the Socialist Party refraining from toppling them on the condition of this pension reform compromise. So today's debates will be about voting this amendment into the social security budget. Of course, if it doesn't get voted in, that will be the end of the road for the Socialists' very conditional support. It could be voted through, though, as it looks like a number of centre-right groups are abstaining in the name of supporting the Prime Minister and avoiding chaos, and they're swallowing their convictions to do so. However, even if it is voted into this bill today, the bill's next destination is the Senate, which is broadly speaking very right-wing and will be very likely to immediately remove without hesitation this clause of the bill, meaning that by the time it makes it back to Parliament, it might no longer be there. And there's also the hypothesis in which the Senate leaves it in there, which would be almost surprising, and in which it makes it back to Parliament, but the bill as a whole, which contains many other budgetary measures, doesn't get voted through by a majority. And so these are the various different points where the Socialists could be compelled to jump ship and withdraw their support, joining the rest of the left and, of course, the far right, who have been poised to topple Sébastien Lecornu's government since very early on.
Antonia, thank you very much for that. Antonia Kerrigan reporting there for us from the National Assembly.